Okay, so today we'll be looking at a new projector from Nebula, the Capsule 3 laser. As the name suggests, this uses a laser light source as opposed to LEDs for improved image quality, and is capable of producing a full 1080p resolution and an image size up to a huge 120 inches. This is also an all-in-one projector, with built-in speakers, Androidtv, and even a 2.5-hour battery for completely wire-free playback. Combining this with its small and lightweight build, the Capsule 3 laser has the potential to be the ultimate solution for projection on the go. So let's get straight into the unboxing first, where the package includes the Capsule 3 laser itself, a power adapter and USB-C charging cable, a quick start guide, and finally the remote control with included batteries. Design-wise, this is a sleek and modern looking device with an excellent build quality. But what stands out is how surprisingly small and lightweight this is. At just under a kilogram, this would be easy to carry around with you and immediately opens up possibilities for travel that lots of projectors simply aren't suitable for. We have the projection lens at the front along with the camera for autofocusing. The speaker grills then flank the sides, and at the rear we have the buttons for power and for switching between the projector and Bluetooth speaker mode. You can actually turn the laser off and simply have this double up as a portable Bluetooth speaker if you choose. Below this are the three ports. There's an aux out for sound, an HDMI 2.1 in the center, and finally a USB-C port, which can act as either the power supply or for connecting a USB drive. The top surface actually houses illuminating touch controls, which are pleasingly responsive. So that could be handy, but realistically it pales to the convenience of the dedicated remote control. The bottom surface has a rubber base for added grip, and there's a 1/4-inch screw mount for something like a tripod, or perhaps to hang the projector from the ceiling. So design-wise I have very few complaints, and I think this looks great. The only changes I'd personally make are adding a tilt function to the base for more flexible direction of the light beam, and perhaps adding a carry case to keep this protected when travelling. The setup process is completely intuitive and essentially consists of connecting to Wi-Fi, signing in with your Google account, and you're ready to go. Using an Android phone really streamlines the process, and I was set up and running within a few minutes. The projector not only has autofocus built in, but auto keystone correction as well, so even if you have the projector off to the side, it can automatically adjust the image to account for distortion. If you then need to move the projector, it can quickly make adjustments to the image for you, but there are options for both manual focusing and keystone correction if you prefer. As long as your projection surface is flat and not too far away, the auto adjustments actually work pretty quickly and accurately. But you'll want to ensure this, because if not, then this can lead to a frustrating and cumbersome setup process. The keystone calibration, for instance, is confusing and not very intuitive, so I tend to manually keystone the image myself, especially for trying to get a more exact fit for my screen size. This is set simply by how far away you place the projector, and the optimal range provides a screen size from 40 inches up to 120, but you can adjust the zoom range in the settings to make further adjustments. Once you've got the image size and focus set, you're brought to the Androidtv 11 homepage, which you can personalize with thousands of your favorite apps. The Google Play Store makes it easy to find popular apps like Disney+, Amazon Prime, and YouTube, plus you can sideload apps for even greater flexibility. Like a lot of projectors though, the process for getting Netflix installed is a bit more complicated, so you'll need to follow Nebula's online instructions if you want to install that. You can also run VLC, which is especially useful for playing back your own files from a USB drive. Very handy for those times you're away from Wi-Fi and want a more streamlined solution than using the HDMI port. Navigating the interface is refreshingly fast, the app load times are fairly low, and those familiar with Androidtv will know that the UI is generally simple and intuitive. With Google at its center, you can benefit from features like the Google Assistant, adding smarter playback controls and search functions not only into the projector, but even the remote control, which you can voice activate through the remote. There's also wireless Chromecast built in for mirroring your phone or computer, and even an accommodation for getting AirPlay to work with Apple devices. It takes an extra couple of steps, but seems to work fine so far. Feature-wise, I've really got no complaints, and Androidtv 11 offers pretty much everything I'd want to see, so I rarely even need to hook up external devices. It makes the Capsule 3 laser a very independent device, but the key feature in that is its built-in battery. There's something really satisfying about not needing to plug in a single cable and still being able to stream your favourite movies and shows, especially from a device this portable. From my testing, the battery life pretty much matched Nebula's 2.5-hour claim, though I should stress that this is in the battery picture mode, which is set to 40% brightness. In standard viewing mode, at maximum brightness, I was just about reaching 1.5 hours. So this does have a big impact on the battery life, and there's a good chance you'll need to be plugged in if you're looking to stream a feature-length movie. One major flaw I discovered with this is when watching a movie from a USB drive. There's only one USB-C port, so when the battery ran out and I had to plug in, it meant that I obviously couldn't keep watching via USB. As pleased as I am about having the universal USB-C for charging, I really wish there was a second USB port to fix this obvious shortcoming, and this goes straight to number 1 on my wish list. The projector does at least support power delivery fast charging and can reach a full charge in around 3 hours. But let's talk about image quality, because this is definitely a strength for the Capsule 3, and the decision to use a laser light source is a great one. You get excellent contrast and colour accuracy, and decent brightness for a projector of this size. It's a noticeable step up from what I've experienced with LED alternatives. The image resolution is crisp and sharp, and again a step up from 720p options. You can even stream 4K and HDR sources, those are compatible, and the projector will simply downscale and project at 1080p. The image isn't perfect though, and I still find you lose some detail in the shadows, so if you're not viewing in a near pitch black environment, then it can be hard to tell what's going on when watching darker scenes. As with most projectors, viewing in ambient light situations gives a watchable, though definitely washed out image, and I'd say that this projector is really suited towards dark environments only. You get a handful of different picture modes in the settings, such as the warmer movie mode, and there are custom controls for fine-tuning the image quality. One default feature I immediately disabled is motion smoothing, which can be useful for content like sports, but I much prefer to have this off for movies. One of the picture modes which only appears when connected to an HDMI source is game mode, and this provides a noticeably lower input lag compared to the others. It's good enough in fact that only hardcore gamers would have any complaints, but I'm sure you've already spotted the immediate and obvious flaw. You lose out on all keystone options. This was a pretty baffling requirement to me because it essentially means that unless your setup happens to have the projector centered perfectly and at the correct distance, game mode is essentially unusable. Gaming itself is unplayable without using the lower latency game mode, so I can't help but conclude that the Capsule 3 laser is sadly not a good choice for gamers. For streaming though, it's pretty great, and on the whole the image quality is quite impressive and leaves few complaints. I also want to mention the built-in 8-watt speakers, because these were surprisingly effective at not only providing crisp and clear sound, but also in distributing it evenly from the device and at a volume level that could comfortably fill a medium-sized room. As a last resort, you could probably make do with it even when outdoors, though you'll definitely get a much louder and more immersive experience if you hook this up to external speakers or headphones. You can either use the aux port, HDMI ARC, or even pair the projector with Bluetooth audio devices. I did find that there were some latency issues, weirdly even when playing through the built-in speakers, but fortunately there's a delay setting you can adjust to correct any lip sync issues. There is also some audible fan noise, which you'll definitely hear if you're close to the projector, but typically I found that it's drowned out by the sound of whatever you're watching, and it's generally not an issue. Overall, I've been pretty impressed by what this projector has to offer, and I think the $799 asking price is fairly reasonable, though do check the video description for some discount codes. Sure, it's not flawless, and you will find brighter projectors at this price point, but the Capsule 3 laser's USP is in its portability and versatility. There are few packing this many features that are as easy to set up and take on the go, and the projector offers an impressive image quality for its size. I can't help but wish the battery life was just a little bit longer. With movies the length they are these days, I typically can't make it to the end without needing to be plugged in. Of course, this is nitpicking, and it's impressive how long it can last at this brightness cable-free, but that's one improvement I'd like to see in a next-gen model. I've tried to keep this review a bit more concise than my usual in-depth approach, so if you have any questions, then do leave those down in the comment section. If you found this helpful, then please give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.